If someone told you that a stranger could change your entire life in one afternoon, would you believe it? Most of us wouldn't. But what happened at a quiet playground on a sunny weekend proved that miracles can come in the most unexpected ways. This is a story about a powerful CEO, her little daughter who hadn't spoken a word since birth, and a single dad whose kindness would unlock not just the girl's voice but a whole new chapter of life. Elena Rivera was the kind of woman who turned heads wherever she went. Elegant, sharp, and powerful, she was the youngest female CEO of a rising tech company. People admired her success, but very few knew her struggles. Behind the polished image of boardrooms and business deals, Elena was simply a mother carrying a silent ache. Her 5-year-old daughter, Lily, had never spoken. Doctors had told her it wasn't a physical problem. The little girl could hear. She could understand, but she refused to use words. Some called it selective mutism. Others blamed trauma. But Elena blamed herself. She was always working, always busy. Maybe Lily felt alone. Every weekend, Elena tried to carve out time for Lily. She would take her to parks, playgrounds, or anywhere that might help her feel free, safe, and happy. But no matter how many swings they pushed, how many ice creams they bought, the silence never broke. Lily's big brown eyes spoke more than her lips ever could. That particular Saturday, the playground was unusually full. Parents sat on benches, kids ran around, and the laughter of children filled the air. Elena, in her usual black blazer even on weekends, looked out of place among the casual crowd. She sat stiffly on the bench while Lily stood by the slide, watching other kids play but never joining. It was a familiar scene. Elena's heart ached at the sight. Then, someone else walked in. A man casually dressed, carrying a small backpack, walked hand in hand with his son. He had the calm confidence of someone who wasn't trying to impress anyone. The boy, a little older than Lily, ran off toward the swings as soon as they arrived. The man chuckled, shaking his head, and took a seat on the bench next to Elena. At first, they didn't speak. Elena rarely made small talk, but something about him was different. He glanced at Lily, then back at his son, and said softly, "She's shy, isn't she?" Elena gave a polite smile. You could say that. His name was Daniel, and as fate would have it, he was a single dad. His wife had passed away 2 years earlier, leaving him to raise his son, Noah, alone. Unlike Elena, he didn't have a high-profile job. He worked as a teacher, and though life wasn't easy, his warmth and patience radiated in every word. While Elena and Daniel spoke quietly, Noah went to Lily. He didn't ask questions like other kids. He didn't tease her for being quiet. Instead, he simply handed her a small toy truck and said, "Do you want to play?" Elena held her breath. She'd seen this happen before. Kids trying to engage Lily only to walk away confused when she wouldn't respond. But this time, something was different. Lily looked at the toy. She hesitated. Dana slowly took it. Minutes passed. Noah began to show her how the truck rolled down the slide. He laughed and clapped his hands, encouraging her silently. And then, just when Elena thought it would be another wordless moment, Lily's lips parted. "Care broken bar," she whispered. Elena froze. She wasn't sure she'd heard it right, but Daniel turned sharply, his eyes wide. Noah's smile stretched from ear to ear. "Yes," he cheered. "It's a car." Elena's world stopped. For 5 long years, she had waited to hear her daughter's voice, and now, here it was, a soft, trembling, but real. Her eyes filled with tears. She covered her mouth, afraid to break the fragile magic of the moment. Daniel placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "She just needed the right connection," he said softly. For the first time in years, Elena let herself cry openly. She had sat in countless doctors' offices, paid for the best therapists, tried everything money could buy. But in the end, it wasn't money, power, or professional expertise that unlocked Lily's voice. It was kindness. It was a boy sharing a toy on a playground. From that day, things began to change. Elena started bringing Lily to the playground more often, always meeting Daniel and Noah. The children's bond grew, and with it, Lily's words slowly came back, one at a time. She said ball, swing, Noah, and eventually, mommy. Each word was a gift. each syllable a miracle. And as for Elena and Daniel, what began as casual conversations turned into something deeper. They shared stories of sleepless nights, fears of failing their kids, and the loneliness of carrying too much on their shoulders. Elena, who had built walls around herself in the corporate world, found someone who saw her not as a CEO but as a mother, a woman, a human. Months later, on a crisp autumn evening, Elena stood once again at that playground, watching Lily run and truly laugh for the first time. She turned to Daniel, her heart full. "If I hadn't come here that die a broken bar," she whispered. Daniel smiled, his gaze fixed on the children. Sometimes the hardest battles bring us to the right people. The story of a mute little girl speaking her first word wasn't just about a miracle. It was about patience, love, and the courage to let others in. It was about a mother learning that she didn't have to carry everything alone. And it was about the single dad showing that healing often begins with the simplest acts of kindness. So, if you're listening right now, remember these: sometimes, the moment you've been praying for arrives when you least expect it. Sometimes, the right person walks into your life not to change everything, but to help you see what's been possible all along. And maybe, just maybe, today could be that day for you too.